Okay, it's 9 p.m. Kiev time. If you're ready, Rick and Maxine, we can start. Right. Hello, everyone. This is great. Hello, everyone. This is Spotlight, a new drop-in cafe conversation club format where we get to know each other better. And today we are spotlighting Rick and Maxine Lathrop. Hello, Rick and Maxine. Thank you for coming under the spotlight. And if I ask you to introduce yourself with 3 words or short phrases, what would these 3 words or phrases be?
We have to unmute ourselves.
Right. I have often thought of myself as a pragmatic humanitarian idealist.
I want people to feel safe with me.
Thank you. Great. So I don't know whether you ever think of your life as a story, but if you think of your life as a story, or maybe it's a poem, I don't know, what genre of story would it be?
Well, yours would be high adventure. And mine would be holding the ground down.
Great. And
Well,
what title would you
hold it,
suggest?
hold it. Now, she said for me, I get to say for myself, not
All right,
for
yeah, all
me.
right.
So I would say the through line. And the reason I'm thinking about that, I've been thinking about my family and those who came before me and recognizing the values that they gave me and how they're coming through me and how I appreciate my ancestors. There's a through line going way back to my ancestors that I've come to appreciate.
Thank you. Now that you define the genre, could you please give it the title for your life story?
The through line.
The through line. Okay, I got it. Maxine, the same title?
Um,
I caught you unawares.
yes, okay. In the world,
In the
grounded,
world. Great.
grounded,
Thank
grounded.
you. Grounded. Okay. So let's get down to a block of personal questions. Okay. Maxine, let's start with you. The Maxine I'm talking to right now, and the Maxine that attended a nursery school. By the way, I don't know whether you attended a nursery school or not, or the Maxine who played dolls. Is this the same person? Are these two Maxines the same person? The
Hmm.
Maxine I'm talking to now and the Maxine that, went to nursery school or played with dolls.
Hmm. Probably, yes, a little bit. I think it's more a return to certain qualities. Yeah. When I was in nursery school, my mother told me that because after nap time, we would wake up and we would have juice and crackers, and we would pound on the table, we want deuce and whackers, because we couldn't speak very clearly as nursery school. Deuce and whackers. So maybe I'm a little bit of that again.
Still, still.
Still.
Yeah. Okay. Rick, how about you?
I did go to what we call kindergarten. In fact, I had a brother who was a year ahead of me in school, and we were great friends all the way up until he went to kindergarten. And the kindergarten was just a couple of blocks down our street. And my mother took him there, and I thought, wait, hold it, I need to go too. So I walked as a 5-year-old down to kindergarten and said, I want to be there with my brother too. But in terms of, am I wiser or smarter now than I was as a child? I think I was wiser as a child than I am now. As a matter of fact, the good book says you must come again as little children. And I think what that means is children are so open and living in the moment and enjoying life. And I think I've lost a little of that, but I'm trying to regain it.
Now, honestly, were you difficult teenagers?
I don't think that I was a difficult teenager, but my mother was very open to dialogue. And so we would have arguments, and she would let me state my view very strongly. And that part might have been difficult, but I don't think I got into a lot of trouble or difficult in that regard.
So you were a good girl, right?
I maybe was a little bit mischievous, but I didn't get in big trouble.
How
Yeah.
about you, Rick? Did your parents complain?
Sometimes the biggest complaint that I remember, and my parents were not big disciplinarians in the sense of paddling or anything like that. But one time I really misbehaved, and that was when I was a little child, maybe 6 years old. Our home was on a fairly busy highway that went through the small town. And one day I went and ran out in the middle of the highway. And my mom impressed upon me with a yardstick that I should never do that again. So I behaved pretty well because that was an impression she left on me. So I was basically maybe a little too good. I didn't get in enough trouble, I think, as a child. I had to wait till I got older and started getting in trouble.
If you were so good as teenagers, I don't know even whether the next question makes sense, but nevertheless, I'm going to ask you this question. If you had an opportunity now to give some advice to your 18-year-old self, what would that advice be about?
Things work out. They may not work out the way I imagine, but things work out. And being a young person without a lot of life experience, you don't understand, you don't have enough life experience to understand that that happens, that things work out. Yeah.
Yeah, mine would be similar. And, when you get to be 18, you start having ideas about the world and how it should be and all the problems. And I started worrying a lot about the way the world was developing and concerned about it. And what Maxine said, there was I can't remember the name of it, but there was a person who appeared on the Mad magazine at that time. And he said, "Don't worry." And I think
What me worry?
what me worry,
What
yeah,
me
yeah.
worry?
So I think it would be, don't worry, just do your best, things will work out.
I think we all need this advice. So, how are you feeling right now? Are you relaxed or are you a bit tense?
I I've never I've never been on one of these Zoom meetings before, so it's really difficult.
But I don't know whether you've been under the spotlight. Okay, now we are getting down to more. So far, we've been talking about each of you separately. Now we're going to talk about both of you together. So, you know that today people mainly look for partners online. I'm sure you didn't have that option. So, how did you actually come across each other?
Ah. Um, I was living on a wellness conference center, and I was overseeing the food service operation. There was a staff that lived on the property on an organic farm. There was about 30 of us that lived there, and conferences would come in that I was responsible for. Rick moves to this facility a few years into my being there. And that's how we met. And I pretty much almost immediately didn't like him. And I'll say because he was sitting on the countertop of my industrial kitchen, my institutional kitchen, sitting on the countertop on his first day with his hand in the granola bucket, like his
Awful.
feet. I know. So it was like, really? This guy? The first day, he doesn't even wait. All right.
I have to defend myself. I'm not going to tell that story other than to know that I was brought there to try to lighten up the atmosphere. And I started in the kitchen, and she was a taskmaster woman in the kitchen. And I tried to lighten it up. And then she, of course, took it wrong. But she should have told this story. This is where she really first met me or saw me. She often tells this story. Um,
Uh-huh.
this organization we were in was also doing a Human Unity Conference in Vancouver, British Columbia, and I was on a tour to help promote this up and down the West Coast. And Maxine was living in Oregon at the time. And part of my job on this tour was I had my guitar, and there's a couple that were the presidents of this new conference. And the wife and I would get up on the stage with my guitar and we'd sing the song of the conference, Awaken to Oneness Now. And Maxine saw me up there on the stage. And she didn't know it, but she immediately fell in love head over heels with me. And then,
So,
so that
sorry, Rick, you confused me. So, was it love at first sight or was it love at second thought?
third or fourth or about fifth, actually.
Okay. After all these, oh, by the way, our club members are very much interested. So, how long have you been jogging along together like this? How many years?
Yeah, since about 88, 1988. How many years is that? Yeah,
30, 38
yeah,
years maybe.
yeah. Mhm.
And after all these years together, are you still able to surprise each other?
Mm.
I would say yes. Aren't you going to say yes, Maxine? You're asking some pretty tough questions here
Yeah,
now.
yeah, of course. They were under the spotlight. Okay, then an easier question. Now, your advice from the top of your experience and all those years together, your advice for young people, is marriage worth trying?
One of the things I like to say is that Rick is not perfect, but he is perfect for me. And part of what I mean by that is that if I'm perceiving something about Rick that seems not perfect, I have to look to myself. What is it about me that's having an issue with him? And so it gives me an opportunity to grow and to examine myself. And so he's not perfect, but he's perfect for me. Yeah, I don't know if that makes sense.
Rick, what would you say? Is marriage worth trying? Because
Yeah,
today young people are not sure why do they need marriage? What's it all
right.
about?
Yeah, it's interesting. You didn't say, is marriage worth committing to? You said, is marriage worth trying? So
That's a good.
that's interesting because when I grew up, when I was young, the idea was you don't live together, you don't have a deep relationship until you say your marriage vows. In today's world, people try on deep relationships with one another. So I would say deep relationships are worth trying. Marriage is worth committing to.
That's good, babe.
So when you marry, you make a commitment to be the best you can with the other person. And like Maxine said, we are human beings, we're not perfect. So we just have to learn how to accept each other's imperfection, but know that the love we share will see us through everything.
That's a great answer, honey. Kohan.
It is. It really
You're
is.
welcome.
It's about responsibility. Along your life path, did you meet people who told you what you should do?
Well, up until we had this drop-in cafe conversation club, not so much, but this guy who runs some of these meetings, particularly when he runs the concerts, he's telling me all the time what to do. So,
I thought you were
well,
talking about Sergei Andronov, no, Rick.
no, the question is, did we have people who told us what to do? It's interesting. Um, when I was growing up, I had a father who hardly ever told me anything what to do by verbally saying you should or shouldn't do that. Maybe a few times, but he told me a lot by the way he lived. And he was an example to me. So I think it's better to share your life example rather than try to tell people how to live. And I remember this one time someone asked the Dalai Lama, "What is your religion?" And he said, "Watch how I live." And I think that's the answer I would give.
Thank you. Now I have personal questions to each of you. Try to give brief answers, okay? So, question for Rick first. What was the main lesson military service taught you?
I think the main one is that, and I'll give a little background. I was an officer in the Navy, and normally the officers are set aside from the enlisted people. We're different. We have to maintain our authority, so don't have friends with enlisted people. I had the opportunity to get to know a lot of enlisted people, and I found great value in people who didn't have the education I had, who maybe are like blue collar workers when I was supposed to be a white collar worker. So I think the biggest message that include I like to say I spent my first year in the Navy in prison, and I wait for people to go, what? And I was assigned there as an educational officer and setting up a education program for prisoners. And I got to know these prisoners very well, and they were the same as me. So the big lesson from military is we're all the same.
Question for you, Maxine. What has your life with Rick taught you?
The importance of complementariness, of being different but working together, and partnership, and what can be created out of that.
That resonates, yeah. Question for you, Rick. What's something your wife says that turns out to be right? If there are
Just about
such things, of
everything.
course.
She said what I was going to say, everything.
I expected this. I wanted your confirmation. Everything she says turns out to be right, right?
Well, from her perspective, we have different perspectives on things, but from her perspective, it's right for her, and most of the time, it's right for me. I'll say that.
Then the question for you, Maxine. What do you think your husband values you most for?
Well, first of all, that prior statement that he made, I'm glad that this is being recorded.
Yes, everything is documented.
Yeah, good. And we have witnesses. Um,
Yeah,
well, maybe my cooking, to go to your question,
okay.
what does he value them? My cooking and my I'm grounded. He's a vision man and he sees things off in the distance, and I'm more grounded and notice implications. And so I bring that to our partnership.
In the next part, let's talk about your service to people. So you've spent much of your life helping other people. Was there some particular moment in your life when you understand this is what we want to do? Help other people. How did you come to that?
I think for me, it started when I read the book in college called Be Here Now, which started to introduce the importance of being present into my circumstances, and seeing from there how I can develop myself in such a way where I can be available to being present, not just for the jollies of it, but what are the needs and how can I be my best self? Um, and then as I developed spiritually, that was also part of my through line, to use Rick's language. Um, but it really came into place when I was doing the work at the wellness conference facility and working with all of the people in that setting. And then with Rick, and I can imagine what story you'll tell that really brought it out. So part of it I owe to our partnership. And go ahead, I know what you're going to say.
She's not always right. And
Yeah.
here's one of those times. Well, she may know this, but one of the great influences in my life was my paternal grandmother. And how she influenced me is she had pictures of all of her children and grandchildren. There weren't too many of us, and a picture of Joe Utek on her bedroom chest of drawers. Why was Joe Utek there? Because he was a Korean orphan that she supported from youth all the way through grade school, high school, college, and then became a minister. And I think that influenced me greatly that I also wanted to help other people.
And just for the record, I knew that that was the story he was going to tell.
Good. It means that you feel each other.
Yeah.
Now you are in the fifth year of your Ukraine program. What has been your biggest surprise about Ukraine and Ukrainians?
Yeah. There's this old-timey song that would have been in my parents' era. So I'm assuming most wouldn't know that. You made me love you. You made me love you. And you're part of my day-to-day uh, thinking and uh, being in touch with you all, not just on drop-in cafe days. You're part of the fabric of my life. And that is different than our years of service. It's gone into a different level. So you made me love you.
Thank you. That's very moving. Rick, any surprises for you?
There was a big surprise because Maxine has a special recipe that she cooks called borscht. And I was surprised when we met Ukrainians that they knew about borscht too. So that's a joke, but the biggest surprise, I think, was um, on a very technical level, how technically adept Ukrainians are in IT and things like working with applications and computers in general. So, and a lot of Americans didn't know much about Ukraine. They don't know how cultured you are, how many beautiful buildings you have, what a rich history. I've now read 3 history books about Ukraine, and I'm really amazed at how Ukrainians continue to persevere through all the challenges that you have had throughout your history, going way back. So I was pleasantly surprised to learn that about you.
Now we are going to get over to a more humorous part of our interview, but before that, do you
Hold it
know
a
what?
minute.
Yeah,
Hold it a
yes.
minute. Hold it. I thought there was plenty of humor already in this.
Oh, yeah,
Some
of
of it.
course. Yeah. But now we're going to talk specifically about humor. But before we start talking specifically about humor, there is a question from our club members. You know what they asked me to ask you? The question is, what do you talk about after our club sessions? What do
Oh,
you
that's
talk
good.
about behind our backs when the
That's
Zoom
right.
session is over?
Well, and the question goes both ways, by the way.
You're going to get that question when we interview
What
you.
I
do
think we
we,
will have the
well,
chance to interview many other participants. Maybe we will get the answer.
well, that's a good question to ask everyone. Uh, did you know that so and so was on vacation and were left to come in, who were displaced, who comes to Ukraine to see family? Did you know that so and so's grandmother or mother was ill? Did you know that so and so? I mean, we talk about what we learn about you all and think about you and care about you. And so it's that, for me, it's a lot of that.
Yeah, we often ask each other, who were you in the breakout rooms?
Yeah.
What did you learn about that person?
Yeah.
Who is that person? Over the years, you all know I love to tell jokes, but over the years, I've learned, even the academics now have learned that storytelling is often one of the best ways of teaching. And when we tell each other's stories and learn about each other's, we have a feeling more for each other. So we often ask about people's stories.
Okay, now let's get down to humor and jokes and idioms. Rick, you know you are famous in our club for your love for jokes and idioms. And what our club members want to know, do you bombard Maxine with idioms on a daily basis?
Oh my
A very
God.
serious question.
Well, it's not, yeah, it's serious in a way because what we've learned with Ukrainians is how many idioms we have in our American English language. I mean, we keep they roll off our tongue. There's another idiom that they just come. and we don't even realize. And then all of a sudden we're looking at Ukrainians and they're looking at us or they're typing. What does that mean? So we probably use idioms a lot with each other and we don't even realize it because they're a part of our language.
Then, Rick, the question specifically for you. If English had to lose one idiom forever, which one would you sacrifice? Which one is odd one out?
Well, that's a good question. I've thought about it. And there's a recent one that's come up that I think I would let go of. It's don't push the horses.
Is it really English?
That, of course, is a joke. I saw the interview of, I can't remember his name, Klitschko or whatever his name was, when he
Klitschko,
asked
maybe. Yeah.
Americans, what does this idiom mean? And all Americans were, and he combined, don't push the river, which is an idiom, with
Uh-huh.
hold your horses. So he put them together and it became don't push the horses. So, but we love that idiom.
We use it in our home now, and I like to apply it a lot to Rick.
Maxine, then a question to you. Do you remember any of Rick's jokes that made you laugh for serious?
Yeah, I don't really remember specific jokes, but during the melting phase of our courtship,
The melting of your heart towards me. Let's get clear. Okay.
Great.
he joked a lot, and it actually made me laugh quite a bit. But there was a time when I said, "Are you going to get serious?" And I didn't really mean, are you going to get serious in our relationship? I just kind of meant, is there going to be something more here than just a slew of jokes? And as Rick would say, he felt like his ears were pinned back. So there's a idiom for you
That's
all.
funny. Sorry, time really flies with you. We have 5 minutes left, so let's do what I call quick fire. So please answer with the first thing that comes to your mind and be brief. And let's do it quickly. The American president you'd like to go out for dinner with?
Obama.
Rick?
Trump.
Yeah, that would be
Okay.
interesting. Yeah.
Another joke from Rick. Okay. Yeah, or are you serious?
Well, I've
Maybe you
got
have some
one
things to talk to him about.
Yeah.
exactly. I don't know
Exactly.
I don't know he'd ever listen,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I would like to be there and just express in some way love and let him realize, hey, he could do this too.
The next question. One habit worth developing.
One word, quick, quick, quick.
Yeah,
Balance.
just one word,
You should
two
talk.
maximum.
Coffee.
Coffee. Your
Borscht.
fa Borscht. Your is if you can call them a habit. So what is your favorite day of the week?
When I'm alive.
Good answer. Uh, what would you choose? Always have the perfect words or always know exactly when to stay silent?
Silent.
Silent. Uh, the city you want to live in. I'm sure it's Portland.
It is for me.
Yeah. For you, Rick.
Actually, no, it's Kiev.
Kiev. Food you love cooking. Except besides borscht.
Yeah, I don't really have a favorite, to be quite honest.
Okay. You, Rick.
You, Rick.
You,
Maxine, does he cook anything?
Yes.
Oh,
He makes good morning eggs, and
oatmeal.
oatmeal, and he talks about his famous tomato soup. You go to the store, you get the box, you open the lid, you put it in the can, in the pot. Yeah, his famous tomato soup.
But I do something important in our life, at least for me, and I think Maxine likes it too. We have what we call nuttola, which
Oh
is
yeah.
a more a healthier version of granola because it has lots of nuts and some coconut, and so I do that every other week. So I
I
have my
think
responsibilities.
you already answered the next question. One thing you can do better than your spouse. Do you have anything to add?
Jokes.
Joke. 100%. One place you've always wanted to visit but never have.
Well, Ukraine for me.
Yeah.
One thing you're still learning.
Balance.
Quiet.
a piece of advice for our club participants.
I'm going to say more than a word. I had a teacher, kind of a spiritual teacher, who said, spirituality or religious is first and foremost practicality. And the most practical thing I could say to anybody is love one another.
Thank you for that. Yeah, we're in the last minute. I have prepared more questions for you, but I think we will finish with the last one. And this is going to be serious because this is the final part, which I call reflection. The question is, when people remember you many years from now, let's imagine this, what do you hope they will remember about you?
It goes back to what I said in the very beginning. I felt safe with her.
And for me, I hope people will think that I tried my best.
Thank you, Rick and Maxine, both for who you are and for what you're doing. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Thanks, Sergey and Drona, for technical support. And remember that this is Spotlight. You never know when it might turn your way, so you'd better be prepared. Goodbye. And now, officially, that's over. And now, Rick and Maxine, if you want, we can stay for a feedback. Or maybe you want to have some feedback from those who are present, we can also do that.
Yeah.
Now we are free to do whatever we want, as we usually do in our after party.
Good. Let's do it.
Well, let's
So,
take
what
us
are your
out of this.
how did it go? What are your impressions? How do you feel?
Well, could you take us out of Spotlight, Andronov, so we can see everybody now?
Yes,
The
please,
whole
Sergey.
group.
Unpin us.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, great.
It's nice to see everyone. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, so this is a question for the rest of the people. How did it go? Or do you have any other question? What do you mean, Sergey? You're the boss as usual.
Yeah.
Who's that
No,
question for?
I wanted to know how you are feeling. How did it go for you? And then maybe
Oh,
if someone wants to share the feedback as well, that would be very nice because we were all very much nervous. It was the first attempt. So if you want to give us some advice, feedback, we will be happy to hear that.
how did it go for us? Well, both Maxine and I just couldn't sleep all night. We were so nervous because we knew you and we knew it was going to be so difficult and not fun. But no, I want to thank you, Sergey, for introducing the spotlight idea. And, we were chosen probably the right thing because we kind of helped start this thing. But we now are looking forward to hearing the stories of you. And we're thinking of maybe a native English speaker or Ukrainian, native English speaker, Ukrainian. So looking forward to hearing all of your stories.
As I said, get ready, everyone. Regular
You,
participants above all. By you mean all of us.
right, but the next person, just so everyone knows, this is now public, he has agreed will be Sergei Sidorenko. So we'll let you know when that happens.
And also, if you're referring to, I mean, appealing to everyone, it's good for everyone to know that I only agreed when Rick put a knife to my throat and put my back against the wall because I don't think this is a good thing for the interviewer to be interviewed in the second session of Spotlight. But I can't struggle anymore, honestly.
That's right. You're an honorable man.
Who is going
Well,
to interview me
let's
then,
not
Rick?
let's
Who is
not get
going to
too.
do that? We will discuss it later. Okay.
Well, Sergey, there's a reason I did that, and I've talked to you about it, and I think you understand this. This is not Rick and Maxine's program. This is all of our program. And it's not American English speakers telling Ukrainians how to speak well or what to do. No, it's us
Exactly.
doing it together. So we need to, and we try to do this democracy thing where everybody has a voice and everybody's voice is important. So that's part of the reason, Sergey.
And I would also like to invite, while we are all here, we're 24 people here, very seriously, I'm going to repeat it in our Telegram channel. I know that we are all very shy and we think we don't have a story to tell, but I'm seriously inviting everyone who feels that you are ready for the spotlight. Just give me a private message, okay? We will do it together. Because anyway, the spotlight will come for you. So if you're willing, if you feel that you are ready to be the next, or one of the next, okay, just tell me, okay? That would be much easier for me to arrange this interview. Otherwise, I will all the same. I will asking you, hunting you the same way the Rick was hunting me, and you cannot escape. That's it. That's my message.
It's like a drone.
Our
It's like a
task is to
drone.
get to know each other better. Exactly.
Yeah. I was saying it's like a drone. We'll come and find you.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
That's right.
A good drone.
A good drone. Yeah.
So, did you want other people that are present here to talk about this session? What did you want, Sergey? Tell us.
No, at least if somebody wants at least to tell us whether it was, I mean, some fun.
Go ahead, Vita.
I've become even more scared about interview because just now I realized how wise Maxine and Rick and Sergei Sidorenko too. So I'm impressed, very impressed by your interview and
Thank you,
your
Vita.
life experience and your, I don't know, knowledge. And yeah, so wise. Thank you for your interview.
And as you said that, start thinking about your interview, okay, Vita?
Or I need to level up my English before
We will
interview.
we will manage. We will manage.
You all are doing so well with English. Even if none of us have, our English is not perfect. We've learned that you Ukrainians know better grammar than we do. So, but everybody's English is perfect as long as they try. That's the perfection. Just try and everything will be fine. But other thoughts from the Ukrainians? I'd love to hear other thoughts now.
My question, yeah. Yeah, Liliana, thank you. Yes, Liliana, go ahead.
Thank you, first of all, for time spending with us and for great advice, because it's really, I guess, a rare thing to have been living together for a long time and being always in a good mood and always have a lot of jokes for each other and for us. And thanks for it. Yes, and we Ukrainians always love you. And as for me, after our speaking clubs, or maybe next morning, I always think about all our discussions and Vita, for example, about chocolate, our last yes topic. And I always discuss it with my family, with my children. That's why I guess our meetings are very useful. Thank you for all of you.
Mm.
I have then a very yes, Natalka, go ahead, please.
My own impressions. Thank you so much for this format. It was very interesting and very unusual. What should I say? You both, I mean, Rick and Maxine, looked very natural. You were very sincere, and it was a great pleasure to listen to you. I'm also impressed by the word balance that Maxine used. It means you are a perfect team, and you understand each other even when you don't talk, even when you keep silent. We could feel it. And it was really very, very pleasant to listen to you. Thank you. You're very wise, both of you.
I have a very specific question. Please raise your hands if you think that we should continue the spotlight as our format in the club. Could you please, yeah, raise either virtual or physical hand or anything, just for us to understand the feedback.
No, we continue it for sure,
We continue
at
then.
least through the interview of you, Sergey.
Right. Okay. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you for the feedback. So we should understand, because we might try new things, but we should understand whether we should continue, go on with them. Andrew, what was your impression?
It's a great opportunity to know each other, even though, we know Rick and Maxine for a long time, but still, this like spotlight format gives us, more chance, more opportunities to know Rick and Maxine, like better. So I'm sure that everyone, after this like format, like spotlight format, after this meeting, people know about Rick and Maxine more. So that's really great chance and opportunity. So I'm sure that this format, will be a great like foundation for our community in general, because since we are going to, continue doing this in the future, right, with like every single person, I'm sure that we will have like, like like a book, let's say, where we have a like a specific story about every single participant that, are, exactly in our community.
Something like a family album.
Exactly.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
So Tatiana, has her hand up?
Tanyushka.
Yeah, just voices, but yeah, I think that I'm totally agree with all participants that said that told. For me, your answer was no, were helpful because my mom now ill, and I understand how. What we should do, I mean, help another people and be present, yeah, and your advice, yeah, really help. So thank you for that.
I'm sorry to hear about your mother, Tanyushka.
Yeah, just connected with her memory, and sometimes she forgot where she lives, and so on. So it's another story.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, maybe we say goodbye then. On this note, unless somebody wants to say something else.
I would like to thank Sergey Andronov. I hope he can turn his camera on. He is the administrator of our program, and he's always in the background helping with all these technical things. And Andrew Andreev is our assistant administrator. They're both doing wonderful jobs. So I just want to thank them for everything they provide.
Yeah,
Yeah, Sergey is indispensable for the spotlight.
yeah, good.
Thank
And
you.
thank you, Sergeant Sidorenko.
That's Valentina, the boss, Sergey's boss. We had to make sure that she was taking care of Sergey to make sure he'd behave today. Good job, Valentina. He behaved pretty well.
Thank you. And
Good.
every interview, uh, as you know, is a two-way process. So the success of it depends on both sides.
And your wife had something to say. You have not learned to not
just-
Sorry.
your wife.
That's
Sorry.
the usual situation. When I start talking, he interrupts and continues to talk. And now you can see who is the boss of the family.
Oh, yeah, that's getting too personal. Okay.
Okay, well,
Thank you all.
all right. Thank you too.
Ukrainians, have a safe and quiet night. See you
Yes,
tomorrow.
please.
Bye.
Okay, let's stay on.